every now and then it gets very easy to lose track on whether you're chasing success or whether you're chasing fame. So I figured today we'd have a little talk about fame versus success, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a better gauge of which one you truly want. Chasing fame or success is not a bad thing at all. I just think it's super helpful and super important that we distinguish between the two and we clearly define what it means to chase either of them and what that path looks like, so that by the time you're halfway down a certain rabbit hole, you don't realize that you've made the wrong decision and you've taken the wrong path down the wrong lane, and you have to go all the way back and go down another. And I think that's literally what this whole video is about. And I want to start off with fame. In a nutshell, the whole world knows you for something. That doesn't always necessarily mean that it's a good thing. We've just recently seen, obviously, the owner of Astronomer be known for an affair. You could also be famous for some of the worst reasons. We could look at P. Diddy, we can look at others that are extremely famous now for the wrong reasons. That doesn't mean that fame is equivalent to those things. It just means that fame doesn't always necessarily mean that it's something good. And I think that's one of the most distinguishable things between fame and success, is that success is not reliant on you being known for anything. Success just means that you're successful in doing something and you achieved something you wanted to achieve. Sometimes where the mix-up happens is people define success as being famous, and that's where you get into this endless loop and you really do get lost. Defining what it is you want to be famous for, and actually even break down the word and just say, I want to be known for, is a way healthier mindset to approach fame in general, because as they say, words become flesh. And if you keep drilling this word famous, famous, famous into your mind, you start to fall into a lot of traps that I don't want to go into, but they're self-explanatory. And once you fall into those traps, it's very hard to come back out. So if you have a very strong brand and a very strong artistic message that you want to push out, once you're known for that message and it's a unique message that nobody else in the world is shouting about, then you have shifted and moved modern culture in a way that maybe nobody else before you has. You've pushed the needle into a place where it wasn't before. That's when you really start to understand what the power and the use and the value of fame is. The whole world wants to know more about what else I think about and what else I want to achieve. And then obviously I'll have a new thing that I want to be famous or known for. So it's about impact. It's about changing the way people think about things. You might go broke doing it, but what's most important to you is change. This is completely different to being successful. If somebody says that their definition of being successful is by having $100 million, then that's your line for success. You don't have to be famous to do that. Ideally, you could define success in any way whatsoever. Personally, myself, I don't chase fame, I chase success because I have a very clear definition of what success is for me. Being able to give my wife and my family and my kid and kids, hopefully in the future, the same life that my parents gave me and more from music. Everything else on top of that is just extra for me. Thankfully, my childhood was extremely blessed and I was very lucky to have the childhood that I had. But the line of success for me is to be able to give my family that. You don't have to be famous to be successful. And there are a lot of famous people that are not successful. And there are a lot of successful people that are not famous. You'll often see when you talk to artists or producers or managers or whoever it is in the creative space, you'll pick up that sort of feedback loop of what they want out of it very quickly. It's very easy to distinguish what type of artists are which. The type of music they make is different. The decisions they make about their art is very different. Their approach to discography versus virality is very different. It's very important to know what type of person you are, to understand what type of artist you are, to understand which one of the two that you want. I've seen so many incredible artists at the top of their game talk about this, and most specifically Russ and John Bellion. And they've had some of the most incredible, insightful interviews that have really stapled this concept that I've been working with for a very long time, but have really opened up as well the eyes of so many people about, really knowing the difference. And Russ said so well in an interview that if you're able to pay for your bills, you've made it. And that's just an amazing definition of success. You have John Bellion talking about in an interview saying that, you know, he was so famous for some of the most crazy, huge, viral, massive songs in the world that everyone in the whole world is singing. And he's moved culture in a way that probably nobody even really understands, yet he was unhappy at home. He wanted to be with his kids and he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to pay his bills, and he was more stressed than he's ever been in life because ultimately he was chasing success. Well, if anything, he was chasing fame and then realized that's not what he really wanted. Then he realized fame isn't really what he wanted. He wanted to chase success, and he wanted to build a completely different type of community and a completely different type of catalog and discography. Obviously, there are nuances to this discussion, but although it might seem very primitive or basic, what I'm talking about, it's something that you'd be shocked how many people actually lose track of. So hopefully this type of video is just more of I don't know, a soft wake-up call if you've been struggling a little bit mentally with how you want to go about your music career and just identifying what type of artist you are. But think about it, analyze it, take some time to reflect and break apart what you want out of life, what you want to do with your art, and find out whether you're someone that really should focus on trying to be famous or someone that should really focus on being successful. And obviously, if you have any questions, if there's anything more that you want to know about, if you're an artist and you would like to know how to help identify this, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. You can DM me anytime. You can leave comments in the section below. I'm trying to be online and help as many people as I can in any way, shape, or form, because I do think this is something that can be a huge stumbling block and a sort of barrier to the type of artist that you can be in the future. So in any way that I can help, I'm happy to. And until next time, guys, speak to you soon.